Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another short edition of As the Crow Flies Hiking. Today I wanted to talk about something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while, and that is the Altra Olympus. Yeah, I'm not sponsored by Altra or anything like that. I have no affiliation with them. But a while back I found on, I can't remember what website it was, if it was Steep and Cheap or Drop or one of the ones that had the Altras for half price. And I saw the Olympus in this kind of cool color, the gray and with the neon yellow accents there, and thought, you know, I'm going to try these out. I've read about them. I've seen them on every AT through hike and thought, what is all the fuss about these things? What makes these so cool? Well, when I got them, I figured it out. These Olympus now have about, I'm going to guess, 300 miles, 280, something like that on them. They've actually been absolutely wonderful for me, and I'm glad that I tried them out. The one thing I had the problem with was going away from Gore-Tex. I'd always used Gore-Tex. I'd always thought that Gore-Tex was the way to go. You know, need weatherproof shoes. And so to switch over to a shoe that you can walk through water and then they dry out really quickly was a game changer for me. But I had heard some things about the durability of the Altra and how they kind of break down quickly. But then as I watched more and more videos and people hiking with them, I realized that they last a good long time for what they are, and they're trail running shoes. You can see that I have a good bit of wear on the tread. I mean, it's broken down. I still have a good bit of tread in the toe, but kind of in the middle, some of the tread's broken down, and then have a good bit of tread in the back. You can tell by the stack of the heel and the arch. The Olympus is kind of, I think it's probably their strongest or highest stack of arch and cushion on the bottom, and that's been wonderful. But what I really like is this mesh around the center of the shoe. It is a quick dry, and so even if you get your feet wet, you're going to get out of the water, and within a few hours you're going to be dry. So or maybe a little longer, but you know, depending on your socks and things. But just absolutely love them. I like the fact that they have this gator trap here. You can get the Altra. I think they work with Dirty Girl gators and different types of gators. So you trap the front there, and then it has the Velcro on the back. And I think all the Altras really have this, or most of the trail runners do. So you trap the back with that Velcro. And of course, what everybody talks about is the toe box. You know, I think that they just have an issue with the toe box coming apart, but I don't really have any problem with that. It's not really caused me any issue. And the next thing that I'm going to do is simply clamp down here with some super glue, Gorilla Glue, or something like that, and just re-glue it. And I've seen multiple people say that works and it holds for a while, and then you have to do it again. Now you do have to kind of get used to, it wasn't any issue for me, but I have seen people that say getting used to this zero drop can be for certain feet and size and arch and things, that they have an issue, because what I really was worried about was having the zero drop. From here to here, there is no elevation on the arch to the heel. So it's completely zero. So you get this feeling that you're walking, I don't know if it's barefoot or you feel the sensation. And when you first get the shoe, you're going to feel like that you're always moving forward, because it comes down and it comes up at the toe box. And so you feel like you're always moving forward. But to tell you the truth, the cushion in the Olympus was a game changer for me. I don't feel the trail like I usually do on some of my shoes, and all this cushion and support. And you can tell after 300 miles approximately that you still have a great bit of stack and cushion there. I've always kept the original inserts. Some people like to change the inserts and add something different. But because the Olympus has such this great arch support and great stack in the heel, that I have no issues with the support there. So that's the Olympus, but I'd like to also show you this. I'm here with JBenhikes on a trip, and been using these a while. And I saw that JBen has the Timps. Initially when I saw them, I thought they were the Lone Peaks because they do have that similar look to them. But the Timps, I believe, are now coming out with a 3 or 2. He can tell you about that. These Olympus are the second generation. And I think they've come out with a 3rd generation of Olympus, which I don't have, which I will look into. But anyway, I'm gonna bring in JBenhikes, and I want him to tell you a little bit about the Timps and the variation there between the Olympus and the Timps. JBen?
What's up, guys? So yeah, so I do have the Altra Timps. This is my 2nd pair. This is the 2. So I do have the Dirty Girl gaiters on it. The gaiter trap back here, it does fit well. Of course, you can hook if you really want to get fancy. They do have another hook down here that you could add another clip to. I think the Altra gaiters do have a little clip system that you can hook right there that bring it down lower, but I found it does just fine without it. So as you can see, the Timp it looks very familiar like the Lone Peak, and I was telling Crow that this shoe is almost like the Olympus and the Lone Peak got together and procreated and produced a baby. So it's not as high in the stack height in the back, but it's thicker than what the Lone Peak is. I like the chassis of this. It rides better for me, in my opinion, than what the Lone Peak does. I did use the Lone Peak faithfully for about 3 versions of it, and then I stumbled upon the Timp 1.0. This is the 1.5. Now they've got the 2 or 3 or something like that. I looked at that one here recently at a local REI, and it looked like they had lost some of the stack height. So as far as the wear on this one, this one's probably got easily about 250 miles on it or so, and it still looks really good. It's got good claws on it, so it's not incredibly worn. I am starting to see a little bit of wear on the toe right here where it bends. Now that might be my fault because I do a size and a half up because I have crazy trail swell, and so I've got to give room for that. And also it helps with my hammer toe that it's not hitting the end of it and hammering down on the hammer toe. So I do go up a size and a half. And I do put another insert in it. I have the other. There's a lot of room. There's a lot of room inside. So for me and my foot, I can fit another insert on top of the Altra insert that's in there. I went without it because in the Lone Peak, I had to take the Altra insert out and slide mine in because there just wasn't as much room inside. But this one, you actually sit a little bit deeper than what you do in the Lone Peak. But the new version of the Timp, like I said, has a little bit less. It feels like a cushion on it, and it just doesn't feel the same. It looks very similar, but it doesn't feel the same. I think they got rid of this guy right here. I think you've seen some hikers talk about how that kicks dirt up on them, but I haven't really experienced a lot of that, so that's not a big deal. Some take a razor blade and cut it off, but just haven't really. It doesn't bother me. Anyway, so yeah, so there's your difference, I guess, in the two shoes. You can kind of see the compression there. All these shoes are neutral too on the heel. They're not pronated or supinated. They're all just neutral shoes, and depending on your foot, and a good way to tell if you're a pronator or supinator is to look at the wear. on your walking shoes, your everyday casual shoes, and if it wears more on the inside or outside, may depending on, you know, if this will work for you if you're a neutral person. So, but usually neutral's a pretty neutral shoe that you can wear. But some people do supinate more. Their foot turns in more like this, and they wear more on this side, so they got to have a little more on the outside to correct their foot placement and everything. So, but for me, I'm a neutral kind of guy. I wear pretty evenly. So yeah, that's the Timp.
That's a good kind of comparison, I think, to the two. And I think what initially people really like that hike is, and what kind of turns them on to the Ultras, is that wide toe box. That's the first thing I saw, right? Is that wide toe box, and I thought, oh my gosh, that would be so good to have that room out there in your toes. Because JBen was talking about the hammer toe. This has been great for me. Once I realized that I need to go up a size in my shoe, and then having that wide toe box, I just don't get the blisters that I used to get.
Yeah, I don't either. I haven't had any blisters since I went to the wide toe box. I mean, you got to think about the anatomy of the foot. When you're stepping, your toes, to balance you out, they actually spread. All your metatarsals, they spread out to stabilize you as you're stepping forward. And not all shoes allow that. So if you got a wide foot, especially, I think Ultras are really good. If you got a narrow foot, you can get away with, you know, one of the other shoes that doesn't offer a wide toe box,
like the Hoka or
yeah. So you just have to get a little bit longer of a shoe to accommodate trail swell. But yeah, I haven't seen any blisters on my feet since I've started using Ultra.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching this editorial, I guess. I don't know what you want to call it, of the Altra Olympus. Again, we're not associated with Ultra. We just both have really enjoyed these shoes. I think I may try the Timps out next, just to kind of get. And
I'm going to go to the new Olympus that's coming out, hopefully in June, with everything that's going on. But hopefully in June, I'm going to go to the new Olympus and try that out casually before I go out on the trail with them. Yeah.
So thank you so much for watching. Appreciate you joining me again on another episode of As the Crow Flies Hiking. I hope to see you next time on the trail. We're actually on the trail, and so we thought we would stop and talk about this, since we've been talking about it as we've been walking. So I appreciate JBen joining. I hope you'll follow his channel, JBenhikes, and we'll see you next time.
All right.